The first settlers arrived in Zadar in Neolithic times and named the settlement Zadar. In the 9th century BC, it was inhabited by an Illyrian tribe. Over the next few centuries, it became an important trading centre for the Greeks and then the Romans. By the 1st century BC, Zadar had become a Roman colony. Roman rule lasted for several hundred years until warring tribes battered the region, resulting in the destruction of the city. Stability arrived with the Byzantines, and Zadar became a significant naval power, rivaling Venice. During this period, the city was rebuilt and landmarks, such as the Church of St. Donatus, were constructed. Meanwhile, the Croatian state was forming and Zadar's importance as a trade and political centre grew. Zadar sought independence from Byzantium, and in 1069 AD it was joined by treaty to Croatia. In 1102, the Croatian-Hungarian state was formed, and then, in 1105, Zadar was officially recognised by the authority of the Croatian-Hungarian kings. Zadar's coastal location put it in stiff rivalry with the Venetians, and the city faced continuous onslaught from them. In 1358, a peace treaty was concluded with Venice, and Zadar was handed over to the protection of the Croatian-Hungarian king. In the 15th century, internal fighting within the Croatian-Hungarian state resulted in Zadar's loss of influence, and the city was sold to Venice in 1409. Under Venetian rule, the city was expanded. Enormous walls were constructed in order to defend the city from invading Turkish forces, and landmarks such as the Land Gate were built. Peace with the Turks was found with the signing of the Treaty of Karlowitz in 1699. When the fall of Venice happened in 1797, Zadar was briefly controlled by the Habsburg monarchy before becoming part of the Napoleonic Empire. The Habsburgs took back control in 1813 and ruled until the end of the First World War. In 1920, the Treaty of Rapallo was signed between Italy and the newly formed kingdom of Serbs, Croats and Slovenes. This treaty handed a section of coastline which included Zadar to Italy. Italians referred to the city as Zara. During the Second World War, the city remained under Italian rule until it was occupied by Nazi Germany in 1943. In 1944, it was liberated by the Yugoslav partisans. However, over 60% of the city was destroyed by Allied bombing. After the war, the city became part of the Socialist Federal Republic of Yugoslavia under the leadership of Tito. During the 1950s, an enthusiastic program of rebuilding took place, and the city thrived. In the 1960s, tourism in the region began to grow. After the death of Tito, the prosperity of Yugoslavia started to show cracks. And in the early 1990s, war erupted throughout the Balkans. During the 1991 to 1995 war, Zadar was under siege for 3 months and further bombarded throughout the war. The population were forced to live underground, surviving on inadequate supplies of food and water. After the war, Zadar was reborn once again. Croatia joined the European Union in 2013, and today tourists flock to the city to marvel at its spectacular architecture and breathtaking sunsets. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and smash that bell button.